the hope that withdrawal by the Chinese and Indian forces, from the north and south of Pangong Tso Lake, respectively, to status quo as existing in April and 2020 would lead to a similar resolution at Gogra, Hot Springs and Depson Plains appears to be gradually fading. This belief is further strengthened not only by a lack of progress during subsequent talks, but also by the statement of Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on March 7. At his annual press conference, while blaming India for the standoff, Wang stated that the border issue was not the whole story of the bilateral relationship, and seemed to suggest that the Ladakh issue should be left on the back burner, while moving on to business as usual in other fields. Thus, the salami slicing strategy was sought to be shifted out of focus and glossed over in quest of normalization of mutual relationship. Some aspects of the Ladakh imbroglio stand out. The policy of 2 steps forward, 1 step back has been followed by China all along the 3,488 km line of actual control, while gradually creeping forward over the last 50 years. This is unlikely to stop, considering the aggressive and expansionist approach adopted by China as its power grows. Its actions in the South China Sea, East China Sea and towards Taiwan are clear examples. The Uzbekistan Army has been learning to handle Sig Sauer assault rifles from the Indian Army during the joint exercise that is happening currently in Chobesha of Ranikhet district. Moreover, all infantry battalions of the Indian Army have got at least 50% of the required Sig Sauer rifles, said its spokesperson Colonel Amananand. The frontline infantry battalions posted along the line of control or the line of actual control have got Sig Sauer rifles in a much larger number, while other battalions have got at least 50%, he added. Around 45 personnel of the 13th Battalion are conducting a joint exercise with around 45 personnel of the Uzbekistan Army. The focus of this military exercise has been counter-terrorist operations. The mainstay of the Indian Army's infantry has been the indigenously built-in SAS 5.56 mm rifle, which has a firing range of around 400 meters. However, the Army has recently been shifting to the American Sig Sauer 7.62 mm rifle, which has a firing range of 600 meters. The Defense Ministry had in September last year approved the procurement of 72,000 Sig Sauer rifles for the Indian Army. The Biden administration is working to embed India in a network of countries in sharp competition with China, though they need to smooth over disagreements that include human rights and New Delhi's acquisition of a Russian defense system. Highlighting the push was Friday's virtual meeting between President Biden and the Prime Ministers of 2 longtime treaty allies, Australia and Japan, as well as of India, the 4th country in the so-called Quad and the least developed economically. While the Quad has been around on and off for more than a decade, Washington in recent years has turned to the group as the US rivalry with China intensified. India's has too. A clash last year between Indian and Chinese troops along their contested Himalayan border was the deadliest in more than 5 decades and provided an additional opening for Washington. We work with a partner like India to confront the common challenges that we have. We certainly recognize the challenges that China poses. An interim security strategy the administration issued this month lists China as a priority concern and pledges to deepen a partnership with India. Boeing is competing with European firm Airbus, which has offered the A330 MRTT platform to AAF. India's new defense acquisition policy has opened doors for the leasing of foreign military hardware, which will help in the rapid modernization of the armed forces. We are in talks with the IAF for KC-46 tanker. There is a requirement for air-to-air refueling and we are working through certain issues. We are open to leasing these tankers. We already lease commercial aircraft to various domestic airlines in India. We understand there is provision for leasing military platforms in the defense acquisition procedure, Todd Jones-Jogren, Boeing Global Services told. He also compared the KC-46, Pegasus, to the A330 MRTT and said, there is a need for mid-air refuelers in India. He stressed that the Boeing KC-46 can operate out of both big and small airports, which will eventually bring down IAF's operational cost compared to others.